Hi everybody, I am Keaton. This is Kid Catholic Season 6, Episode 25. This is actually technically the season finale, and it's also the 150th video of Kid Catholic, so that's pretty exciting. Also, do you know what started yesterday? My radio show that I told you guys about last week, that started yesterday, The Faith in 5. It's on Oklahoma Catholic Radio, so if you live in the Oklahoma area, then you can listen to Oklahoma Catholic Radio every day, every weekday plus Saturday at 3:20 p.m. for 5 minutes. I will have a radio show on there. It started yesterday. And if you don't live in the Oklahoma area, then just go to okcr.org and you can listen to my episodes via there. So yeah, I'm excited to be starting that. So for today's video, I wanted to talk about free will. So let's get into it. Basically, you could sum up free will in just a little sentence. Free will is a gift from God that we need to take advantage of. But it actually goes a little bit further than that. Free will is a gift that He gives us. And we need to look at it as a gift. We need to acknowledge that it's a gift. Because He's a loving and merciful God. He's a loving and merciful Father, right? He's not a father who forces us to do something, right? He doesn't force us to choose Him. He doesn't force us to do something, right? It's like a parent forcing a kid to do something. No, He doesn't force us to choose Him. But He wants us to choose Him. And He has His arms open. He's so loving that He doesn't force us to do it, but He wants us to do it, and He's asking us to do it. And He's begging us to choose Him, and He's just waiting there with His arms open while we are going through all of our struggles. That's incredible. We are given this gift of free will to choose God, right? To say yes like Mary did. I could even get into a little bit of vocations, right? We're giving free will with that. And to say yes like Mary did to that. Mary was 14 years old when she said yes to being the mother of the Messiah, being the mother of the God of the universe, which is incredible, right? We need to say yes like she did. We're given free will to do that, right? Some people who are bad, who do bad things. I shouldn't say some people who are bad because we shouldn't judge people. Some people who do bad things haven't used it for good, for what it's supposed to be used for, right? God gave us free will to be kind to others and to choose Him, to openly and willingly choose Him, right? Because He doesn't force us to do something that He doesn't want to do, right? It's just like a vocation. He wouldn't completely force us to do a vocation that He doesn't want to do, obviously, that we don't want to do. Obviously, our input is important, yet He's still ultimately the one who has the choice in that case, right? It can be the same way with that, right? We need to choose Him. He gives us the ability of free will. In fact, I wanted to look at the Catechism of the Catholic Church definition of free will. This is specifically freedom right here in 1742. By the working of grace, the Holy Spirit educates us in spiritual freedom in order to make us free collaborators in His work in the church and in the world. So essentially, grace, as the Catechism explains, grace helps us be free, right? The grace of the Holy Spirit educates us when it comes to the case of freedom, right? The grace that God gives us, freedom is a part of that grace. Free will is a part of that grace, right? And it's a very special grace. It's a very special gift that we are given, and too often we can take advantage of that. And that can be the case in a ton of things when it comes to Jesus, right? Without even knowing it, we can take advantage of things, but we can especially take advantage of free will. We forget that if God wanted, He could force us to do literally anything, and we would do it. Because He's God. He created everything. He could literally eliminate everything in the world with a snap of His fingers if He wanted to. Right? Sometimes we forget that. We forget that He's allowing us to choose things. We forget that He's allowing us to be free, to have that sense of freedom. And sometimes we don't even realize it, like I said. Most of the time, we probably don't even realize it. We just wake up the next day, and it's another day to be free and to do things and to decide whether you want to pray or not pray. But I'm not saying that we should be thankful for this free will because, yay, we should be thankful for this free will. It gives us the opportunity to not pray. It gives us the opportunity to not go to Mass. It lets us sin. Yay, let's be thankful for this free will. No. That should not be the case. We should be thankful for this free will. We should be grateful and not take advantage of this free will Because now we get to do prayer willingly. We get to pray willingly. We get to go to Mass willingly. We get to love God willingly because we want to, not because we are being forced to. And that is such a better feeling when you willingly do something, right? It's so much more fun to willingly go to church than it is to unwillingly do so, right? I mean, that's just obvious. He allows us to choose that. And like I said, too often we take advantage of it, and we can't do that. We need to remind ourselves. We have so many things to thank God for. He gives us so many gifts. Life itself, he died on the cross for us, right? He sent his only son for our mistake, a mistake that God didn't make, but God suffered for it. It was our mistake, and yet he died for it. We have so many things to thank him for, and free will is one of those things. Having the ability to choose him. His arms are wide open. When we're going through struggles, when we're going through rough times, we don't know where to go. His arms are wide open, waiting for us constantly. Because whatever your vocation might be, there's one vocation that all of us share, and that's to be a saint, right? We can choose to be a saint. Sometimes we can forget that like, oh, I hope I'm a saint. It's a gambling choice. No, we can choose to be a saint. We can. We can choose to get into heaven. It's just by being kind to others. I shouldn't say just by being kind to others. There's a lot that goes into it, obviously, such as prayer, and I could go into an entire separate lecture about all that goes into what it takes to get to heaven, which I'm not going to do. But I'm saying we have the ability to choose that. We have the free will to do so, right? We have the free will to love God. And he's waiting for us with his arms wide open. We just need to come to him, just like the story of the prodigal son, right? You know the story of the son who went out, right, and spent all his father's money that he was given? It's a parable that Jesus tells. He spent all his father's money, and then he comes back, and the father was so happy and grateful for him. I could go into, again, an entire lecture about that, but that's the type of free will that we have. We have the free will to be the prodigal son who comes back. We might not necessarily be eating with the pigs like that prodigal son is, right? We obviously might not be that bad, of course. But we still have the choice to either come back to him or come to him in the first place. Whatever it might be, we have that choice, and we need to take advantage of it. And we need to let other people choose that too. We need to help other people choose that. We need to help other people use their free will for what it's meant for instead of doing bad things with it, right? Too often in today's modern world, people do bad things with free will, and it's not okay. And we need to change that, right? We need to change that. We need to not take advantage of free will, and we need to thank God for the free will that he has given us. And most importantly, we need to use this free will for what it is made for. To come to God, to pray, to go to Mass, to receive the sacraments. We need to do so because that's what it's here for. That's the whole reason we have free will, is to be able to choose him instead of being forced into something. Because we're all called to be saints. And it's our free will to choose to get on the path that leads to sainthood. So let's get on that path. And let's start right now and use the free will for what God intended. So, now that the topic is done, do y'all know what it's time for now? It's time for
the Saint of the Week.
And for today's Saint of the Week, we have Saint Barbara, and I'm actually really excited for this one because she's an incredible saint. And so basically, her mother was a very strong paganist. She was huge in the pagan world. She worshipped the pagan gods on a day-to-day basis, and she locked her daughter, Barbara, up in a tower and kept her there and only allowed her pagan teachers to go up there so they could teach her the pagan faith and give her food every once in a while. Her mother said that she could leave her tower when she was older, and while she was in her tower, she admired God's creations and secretly became a Christian. When she was let out of her tower, she met other Christians and other Christian teachers, and actually a house was being built for her by her father, who was also an extreme pagan, and she told the architects to put in a third window so that there's a trinity of windows without her dad knowing, because her dad wouldn't even think about it. But one day she told her dad that she had become a Christian, and he was raged. He was furious. He tried to behead her, but she ran away. She hid. A shepherd betrayed her and told him her location. Her dad handed her in to the government that was there at the time. And again, Christians were being persecuted at this time. So the government that was there, they had her tortured, and they tortured her a lot, but she never renounced her Christian faith until she was finally beheaded and died. So that's a lot of a story. That's an incredible story. And it fits perfectly with this week's topic, free will, right? She had free will when she was let out of her tower, and she didn't have free will when she was in her tower. She had free will to choose God, obviously, but when we're talking about physical free will, she didn't, because she was stuck in the tower and she couldn't do anything, right? Yet because she physically, her free will was taken away and she couldn't physically go anywhere, she still spiritually went to God, which is incredible. She had spiritual free will when her physical free will was taken away, and she used that, right? And when she got out of her tower, she used the physical free will to go and find other Christians, right? And even though she was tortured, she had the ability, she had the free will to renounce God, to say, no, you're right, I'm not a Christian, please stop torturing me and let me survive. She did not. She survived. She's that incredible of a martyr. She died for her faith. She's a perfect saint for this week's topic. It goes perfectly with free will, right? She had the free will to even listen to her pagan teachers. I mean, they were the only people she ever saw. They were the only, in a way, entertainment she ever got when she was always locked in her tower. So she very easily could have listened to them. She very easily could have believed what they said. But no, she became a Christian because she used her spiritual free will to her advantage. She took advantage of it, right? She took advantage of that spiritual free will. She didn't forget about it, right? She knew it was there and she took advantage of it, and we need to take advantage of it too. We need to hop on that free will that we have. We need to use that gift. God gives us that gift to use, and St. Barbara did. So anytime we feel like we're having a hard time using that free will, for whatever reason there may be, there can be a multitude, a ton of reasons as to why we might not be choosing God. But whatever that is, whatever is holding us back from using our spiritual free will, we need to look at St. Barbara, because while her physical free will was taken away, her spiritual free will, she used it to the best of her abilities, and we need to pray through her, because we don't pray to the saints, pray through her for help. So thank you guys so much for watching. Again, my radio show started yesterday, so that's awesome. I'm really excited about that. Also check out my website, kidcatholic.com. There you can read about me, you can contact me. There's an entire photo gallery up there. You can see a talk that I gave up there. You can buy your very own Kid Catholic t-shirt, so please go do that. Also check out all 3 of my social medias, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. The link to all 3 of those will be in the description and in the comments below. Also leave any saint or topic suggestions that you might have down in the comments below, and I might just get to them. Please share this video and channel with your friends and family. Make sure that they know about Kid Catholic. Also, I wanted to say thank you guys for 3,000 subscribers. We recently hit 3,000 subscribers, which is incredible. I'm very thankful for that. Please subscribe and like the video. So yeah, thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you all next week, and hi Brielle.